Alrighty, good morning, everyone. What's up? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is August the 26th, Tuesday today. We had an inside bar day yesterday on the overall indices. Yesterday, over the night, we actually did have a few news events. AMD had some news. We also had some news regarding Trump and some other things here as well, which is driving the market towards the downside. We'll talk about the major indices here in a second. Before we do that, good morning. What's up, everyone? Hartig, Jeff, Joseph, KO. Morning. What's up, Monty, Ryan, Victor? What's up, Patricia, Non-Tolly, Mozzie? Underrated 50. Good morning, Martin. Let's see. Yeah, we'll talk about the charts here in a second. Eileen, Audrey, Boder, Wayne, Just. What's up, everyone? Daniela, Cinna, Robert, Vate, Smart, Glenn, Arnold, Paulo, Darth. Yeah. What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's actually just hop right into the major indices. Actually, before we do that, let me bring up the Forex Factory. So this is the economic calendar. Let's just kind of go over some of the news events that we've had overnight and coming into this week here as well. So the main thing that we have coming to this week, as I mentioned, is going to be NVDA earnings. That is Wednesday after close. As for the economic calendar in itself, we'll see if this gets upgraded to a red folder news event, but we do have consumer confidence that is going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. No red folder news events tomorrow, and then Thursday, prelim GDP, unemployment, and we have a Fed speaker, and then we also have core PC and revised consumer sentiment here on Friday. So that's for the economic calendar in itself. As you can see for the overall indices, we've had a little bit of movement here in the after hours. You can see the futures are moving decently here. Just kind of retrace 50% of the move that we had on Friday. The overall markets dropped yesterday. This was due to President Trump potentially removing Fed Cook from its position. So basically, Trump was trying to fire one of the Fed members. So as you can see here, overall markets dropping towards the downside. As for some other news events, it's going to be NVIDIA earnings. Let me see if I can pull up the economic calendar here. Okay, let's see this. Okay, let me pull this up here as well. So this is one of the major news events as well. This is the earnings calendar for this week. As you can see, we have NVIDIA earnings. So this is really big for the overall markets. This is one of the biggest news events, at least for this week. So we'll see what shapes up here with NVIDIA earnings here as well. That's going to be Wednesday after close. As for now, let's go on to the major indices themselves. So key levels coming into today. Let's go into the 1 hour chart. As you can see here for the ES, we're on the ES 1 hour time frame. Price key level for us yesterday was our 6460. So you can see nice push towards the upside, really just consolidating above this level. Wasn't able to gravitate back up and towards your Friday's highs. And then ultimately now you can see in the after hours, we're breaking underneath your 6460 retest, and now we're actually continuing towards the downside. So coming into today, we're actually right in between Friday's range. If we were to mark out its high along with its low here as well, we're basically right inside the middle. What we like to see here for the ES is one of two things, right? We can essentially use our pre-market levels here as well now. We like to see the reclaim back above our 6460 for this continued push back up and towards the upside. If you want to see some more downside here, we're either looking for the pop and fade off of our 6460, or now we're going to be looking for this play underneath now your pre-market and after hours lows, which is going to be our 6430 here on the higher time frame. So those are the levels I have marked out for the ES coming into today. It's just going to be your previous day lows, which is your 6460 here. If you go into the SPY chart, the key levels that I have marked out is going to be your 644. That was the level that we have marked out yesterday. You can see price, really no reaction within the first 2 hours of market open, and then we had a small push later to just fill its gap, but was not able to move back up and towards your all-time highs. Now you can see in the power hour, you can see price dropping towards the downside, and currently we're right underneath your previous day low. So we have two things that we're looking for here on SPY. We can actually just readjust this level here as well. Let me remove this. We have a few levels here that we're looking at the spot. Key level is going to be this previous day low pivot point, 642.50, and we also have your 644. So if we reject off your previous day lows, hold underneath your previous day lows, potentially we can see a push down in towards this 639.50 here. So that's going to happen underneath your previous day low, 642.50. If we're able to reclaim back above your 642.50, the next level back towards upside is going to be this level, which is your 644. We can actually readjust this level here on the futures chart now as well. So your previous day low is actually this key pivot level. We can have this level marked out along with this level, which is your previous day lows, 642.52. So this is actually your key level here. This is your previous day lows on the ES. And then we also have this level. We're just going to keep this level here as well, which is your 642.60. So for the SPY and Qs, the key level that we have is now going to be your previous day low, 642.50. If you look at the NQ, similar thing here, key levels that we have marked out is going to be this 23,380, and then we also have this 23,500. So you can see right off the bat yesterday we ended up reclaiming back above this 23,500, pushed up in towards your Friday's highs, not quite hit your Friday's highs, rejected off this level, and then you can see price right continued back towards the downside. Now you can see Qs is just consolidating this general area. It actually came all the way back in towards the area that we broke out from here on Friday. You can see price broke out from this level. We actually came back, retested this level here. Now what we want to see is one of two things here for the NQ. So the NQ, number one, is lagging behind versus the overall indices themselves, right? Versus the ES in itself. Now you can see bouncing here. At least coming to this week, we've had a few names that have been leading the markets back towards the upside, right? Tesla, NVDA's popping here, but ultimately, right, markets dropping while these ones are trying to hold up. As for the NQ, what we like to see is the reaction that we have off of your 23,500, and we also have this level here as well, which is your 23,380. For some long side, we like to see it above your 23,500 for a potential move back towards the upside. Also, another scenario we could be looking for is the long off of your 23,380. As for shorts, not as interested, but you could be looking for the pop and fade off of your 23,500 here on the NQ. As for the QQQ chart, the chart in this case that we're going to have marked out is this 571, exact same level from yesterday. And now we can also have marked out your previous day lows here as well. So yesterday, we talked about this one opening up inside the middle of the range. We're just going to see the reaction within the first 15 to 30 minutes, just a lot more consolidation, slow push up, reclaimed above this 571. Nice push towards the upside, but now you can see we're back underneath this 571 and we're back close to your previous day lows. So coming into today, what we like to see reaction off of your previous day lows. If we can hold above your previous day lows, you can see this push up and towards your 571. If you actually break underneath your 569, which is your previous day lows, potentially you can see some more downside here towards your 567. So we'll keep an eye out on the QQQ coming into today. It's going to be your previous day lows. Similar thing here to SPY. Previous day lows is going to be key for 642.50s here on the SPY. All right, let's go over to some of the tech names that we're looking for coming into today. As for Tesla, we talked about this one yesterday, being one of our main watches towards the upside. The reason being is because we do have this higher time frame wedge pattern. So as you can see here for Tesla, we draw this out. We have this here as well, where we had this higher time frame wedge pattern looking for a potential move back towards the upside. As for Tesla, we end up having this nice push up and towards your high that we created from a few weeks ago, which now if you can go back onto the 1 hour chart, you can see Tesla end up having a nice push up and towards this key level, which is our 346. So you can see nice push up and towards that 346. Now, you can see price is having a little bit of a pullback. So 346 is going to be key. You can see price broke above your previous day highs, right? Based above this level, eventually ended up having this nice push towards the upside after basing above this 339 key pivot high. So you can see nice push towards the upside. We tried basing above this level here as well, which is your 346. That is going to be the new key level for Tesla. If we can get above your 346 and hold, we can see this push up and towards your previous day highs and above, which is now going to be this 349. So we'll keep an eye out on Tesla today for the reclaim back above your 346 and a hold of that level. As for some downside, I'm not too interested in trading downside here on Tesla, but if it rejects off your 346, there's a potential you can see a little bit more downside on this name. But I personally like to see the reclaim back above your 346. That's going to be key coming into today. As for NVDA, key levels that we have marked out is your previous high that we created from Friday. Oops, let's go back onto this. Let's remove a few levels here as well. So for NVIDIA, coming into today, along with yesterday, the levels that we have marked out was our Friday's highs. And now we can also have marked out your previous day highs here as well. So for NVIDIA, levels that we have marked out yesterday was our 176.50, and we also had our Friday's highs. And you can see right off the bat, kind of buyers stepping in. Once we're able to break above your Friday's highs, we end up using this level as a retest for continuation towards upside. Now you can see NVIDIA, bigger kind of wick coming to yesterday's close, but currently this one does have earnings on Wednesday. We'll see if we could potentially push higher before earnings, but now I'll be a little bit more cautious on this one just because we do have earnings on Wednesday. Key levels that we're going to have marked out is going to be this previous day high pivot point, which is 181.90. So for NVIDIA, if you want to see some more upside, preferably you like to see the break above your 181.90s for a push towards the upside. This is going to be the best level, your previous day highs pivot point. Currently, it's going to open up closer into the middle of the range, plus this pretty big wick yesterday. I'll be a little bit more cautious on NVIDIA, as I mentioned, coming into earnings. That is going to be in about 2 days. So for AMD, this one had news. So as you can see right here, for AMD, we have some news here in the pre-market with AMD along with IBM. As you can see right here, now what we have marked out is going to be this 168.50. So as you can see here, key levels that we have marked out is our 186.50s. That's going to be the key level if you want to see the break above hold for this continuation back towards the upside. So for AMD, this one does have news. Sorry, here in the pre-market, if you want to see some more continuation back towards the upside, break above your 169, which is essentially your high that we created here on Friday. Hold above that level for a potential push back towards the upside. So that's what we have for AMD. 169. Next level is back towards the upside is really going to be this area that we broke down from all the way back towards your 173. So if you can break above, show some strength coming into today here on AMD, potentially we could be looking for now the hold above your 169 for a push up and towards this 173. So that's what we have here for this ticker. As for some other ones, Meta, you can see a lot more consolidation here. Not really too much to talk about. We kind of have some buyers stepping in off this this 740. Now what we like to see is it just maintain above your 740 and then also maintain above your 750. We like to see buyers step in for a potential move back up and towards your previous day highs. As for Apple, this is something we can take a look at here as well. So you can see Apple, buyers are stepping in off this 226. But now we're unable to reclaim back above this 230, which is key. But the levels that we have marked out, your previous day highs, and we also have your Friday's highs that we have marked out as well. So as you can see here for Apple, we have your previous day lows. We also have your previous day highs marked out. What we like to see now here on Apple for longs, right, bounce off of your 226.50. Another scenario right above your previous day highs for continuation. As for some downside here, either pop and fade off your 229, or now what we like to see is underneath your 226.50 for potential continuation towards the downside. So we'll keep an eye out on Apple. 226.50s is going to be key. As for Google, you can see a nice push up and towards your all-time highs. We end up using this level as a retest on the lower time frames. You can see once we got above your all-time highs, reclaim back above this level, nice retest for this continuation back towards the upside. Now for Google, we just like to see it maintain above now your previous all-time high. So you can have this level marked out, which is your 208.50s. As long as you maintain above your 208.50s, you can see this nice continue push back up and towards your 210 and above. And then for a few other names, Amazon, nice opening drive towards the upside, was not able to hold above your previous day highs. And now you can see this one's pulling back just a little bit. Key levels that we have marked out on Amazon is still going to be this 228.50. And then we now can just mark out this down close candle, which is just going to be an intraday level back from Friday. Key level, which you just drag over, is your 226.50. So for Amazon, what I'd like to see is really the reclaim back above your 228.50 for this continuation higher. Currently, you can see underneath your previous day lows, that's going to be the first level we have to reclaim. And then the second level is going to be this 228.50. As for a few other charts, Microsoft still staying heavy, so you can keep an eye out on Microsoft coming into today. This one, you can see every pop has just been shorted towards the downside. You have this really multiple touches here at the bottom. What we now like to see is really the break underneath your 503, hold underneath for this continuation towards the downside. So you can keep an eye out on Microsoft 503.82. And then for Netflix, you can see a little bit of buyers stepping in. What we like to see now, reclaim back above this 1263, this 1236. Sorry, my throat's pretty sore here. As for SoFi, this is another one we talked about yesterday. One of our main watches with Tesla was SoFi above your 25 key cycle level. So as you can see here, SoFi, pretty strong candle close. We're breaking above a key level of resistance. The next levels that we have is going to be your previous all-time high. So, sorry, your actual all-time high. So you can see multiple touches here on SoFi. We finally got that break. Nice retest. Next levels 27, and then your all-time high is 28. So you can see nice daily candle close so far towards the upside. What we like to see now for SoFi is really continuation. So you can see broke above, nice retest. Now we have this continuation towards the upside. Now we're essentially basing above this 26. What I personally like to see is one of two things, right? Either one, hold above your 26, continuation towards upside, or now it's going to be the break above your previous day highs, hold for this push up and towards your 26 and basically your 27 key cycle level here and above. So these are the levels that we have for SoFi coming into today. As for Hood, not too much is happening on this ticker. You kind of just had this pop, and now we just have some consolidation inside bar day on this ticker here. So, okay. Yeah, if you guys do have any charts or any tickers you'd like me to go over now, you guys can drop them in the chat. Yeah, I don't know why my throat is so sore this morning. But yeah, if you guys do have any charts or any tickers you'd like me to go over, you guys can drop them in the chat now. If you guys are enjoying this so far, I appreciate if you guys drop me a like. If you guys haven't joined the watch list, that one is also the first, I think it's the first link in the description below. Okay, so for Palantir, you can see price kind of push opening drive play towards the downside, immediately kind of got bought up. And now we're back inside of its range from its previous day, which is this 156. So this is a very key level here on Palantir that I've talked about. Now you can see price after this really big push towards the downside, we've primarily just been consolidating. So for Palantir, what we're going to have marked out here now is still just going to be this 156 key level. If you do want to see some upside, we have to reclaim, hold above this level for continuation higher. If we end up maintaining, right, weakness, right, you like to see really the pop and fade, maintain underneath this 157 for continuation towards the downside. All right. Let me scroll up here as well. Good morning. What's up, everyone? Good morning. Why is AMD? AMD has news in the pre-market. What website? Earnings. You search up on Twitter. I use Earnings Whisper. What do you think about Apex? I personally don't use prop firms, but Apex, Top Step, all those major Tradeify, those big ones are all good, right? I don't think you can go wrong with them. There are some shady prop firms out there, but there's some prop firms that do pay out. So those ones, I think Apex, Top Step, and Tradeify are probably the top three. All right, let me go over some tickers here. Good morning, what's up? Palant, yeah, I already went over Palantir. Let's go over Circle. So for Circle, this one's continuing to show weakness. So this one, ever since we've had earnings, plus we've had some bad news, this one's been driving towards the downside here. As you can see, every pop has just been shorted. So this was a recent IPO that we've had, and now you can see we're starting to push back towards the downside here on Circle. We filled this daily gap, but now we're essentially using this daily gap as a retest for continuation towards the downside. So as you can see, if I had the up close candles marked out, we have a couple key levels in this case. We have our 150 key psych, and now we also have your 134. You can see every pop is just being shorted, and now we're just continuing lower. As for Circle, coming into really today in this week, what we're going to have marked out is last week's lows. We can mark this out, drag it over. So we have this level marked out, which is your 130 key psych. You can see price got underneath it yesterday. Nice retest for continuation towards the downside. Next key levels that we can have marked out, previous day lows once again, 125. So for Circle coming to today, we either like to see the pop and fade off of really this 129, or now it's going to be underneath your previous day lows for continuation towards the downside underneath this 125. So that's going to be key here on Circle. As for SOUN, this ticker, this one's dropping, had a nice push towards the upside recently with earnings, but ultimately now you can see this one's pulling back. We do have this daily gap towards the downside, which it is most likely going to fill. So as you can see for SOUN, you can see so far right underneath this earnings low. Now you can see multiple touches. What I personally would like to see is the break underneath your previous day lows for a potential move down in towards that full earnings gap fill down towards your 11 key psych. So that's what we have for SOUN. For any upside, it's going to have to be the reclaim. I would not look for longs unless we're above your 1275. As for TEM, so this is the key level I have for TM. Ultimately, this one, if you go into the daily chart, you can see we are close back up and towards your all-time highs, and we're just going to mark out down close candles here. So the daily chart isn't as clear on this ticker as for the 1 hour chart. The levels that we're going to have marked out is just going to be this right here, which is your 78. You can see nice push up here on Friday. We tried holding this level here yesterday, but now we're still holding these higher lows and maintaining structure. We like to see the reclaim back above your 78 if you want to see any sort of continued pushback towards the upside. So that's what we have. See a couple people typing in some Forex pairs, but I'll go over some gold here. Key level for gold, still in consolidation, but gold here on the daily chart, what we'd like to see is, right, eventually that break. Right, this flat top break, continuation for a push up and towards your all-time highs. If you look at gold here on the hourly chart, it still hasn't done too much. You can see nice kind of reactions off of our levels. Now we're not even in a trend. We're just kind of have these big pops. We're just kind of ranging. So for gold, what we personally like to see now is the push above, right? I personally don't like marking out this chart just because we're just in consolidation, right? No trends, just ranging on the daily chart, ranging on the 1 hour chart. The chart that you have to be on minimum would be at least a 15-minute time frame. But now you can see nice pop yesterday. What we like to see is really the break and hold above this key pivot high, which is going to be your 33.78. So 33.78, break above this level, hold above this level for this continuation back towards the upside. As for IBIT, you can see this one's pulling back with Bitcoin overall in the rest of crypto, but this one now pushing towards the downside. Key levels that we have marked out is this 63. So you have this 63 key pivot point. We had a pretty big gap down over the weekend. Now you can see we're showing a little bit more weakness here as well. Other levels that we could have marked out previous day lows. So we have previous day lows where if you do want to see continuation lower, maintain underneath your previous day lows, which is your 63 key psych level for continuation towards the downside. So That's what we have for IBIT. Let me scroll down here as well. Can you show us Fibonacci levels? I personally don't use Fibs as often unless we have an all-time highs move, but you can take a screenshot of this if you do like. Can you take a look at HIMS? As for Microsoft, is there more downside? Yes, there's more downside here on Microsoft just because that one has been quite weak here. As for HIMS, the key levels that we're going to have marked out is this 44 key strike. So you can see we have multiple touches. Now what we like to see is the break underneath your previous day lows and really a push down in towards, now it's going to be this 42.60. So you can have this level marked out here on HIMS. If you do want to see some downside, really underneath your previous day lows, underneath your 42.60s for this continuation towards the downside. So that's going to be your key level for HIMS coming into today. All right, let me scroll down here as well. You were so right about the IV last Friday. I think, are you talking about NVDA? Palantir, what matters more, the IV or the IV percentile? So for IV, so implied volatility, it's fairly similar. I think your IV percentile, basically implied volatility is just how much the expected move is. So if we're talking about NVIDIA, you'll see now the contracts are going to be juiced up just because we have earnings on Wednesday. So whenever the IV's high, that can usually mean one of two things, right? Someone knows something's up, either, right, we have a news event coming up, either being earnings, or if the IV is just elevated in itself, right, a potential other news event that can drop in the market. So they're implying for a big move to happen. So that's why the IV would be elevated. All right. I'll go over a few more tickers here, and then I'll go over my game plan coming into today. And then I will most likely get ready for market open. So as you can see here for coin, key level, similar thing, and just kind of gap down with Bitcoin over the weekend. Key levels that we have marked out is essentially the area that we broke out from, which is our 304. So 304, if you maintain above your 304, a little bit of a mean reversion back towards the upside. If we end up breaking underneath, right, consolidation, break underneath, then we could be looking for, right, 304 retest later into the session. Okay. Those don't work on small. Yeah, small caps are a little bit different. Small caps, it's primarily based off news. So you got to think about it. Small caps, it really has nothing to do with technicals. It has more of everything to do with actually news in itself. Window open overnight. We have a cooler nights in the GTA, especially a couple last week. Yeah, exactly. No, it's been a little bit cooler. I had the fan and the window open, so that's why my throat's definitely a little bit sore. All right. Okay, let me scroll down here. All right, let me go over my game plan coming to today, and then I will go over a few more tickers. I'll talk about my top watches, and then I'll get ready for market open. So coming into today here, we're still kind of in between Friday's range. So we have your Friday's highs along with your Friday's lows. Yesterday, nice kind of reclaim back above, and we had this continuation higher. For the levels coming into today here, what we have is this 23,500. So you can see a nice push towards the upside, multiple touches, 23,500. If you do want to maintain and show some weakness, it's going to be underneath now. It's going to be your previous day lows here for the NQ. If you want to see any sort of upside, we like to see the reclaim back above this 23,500 for this push towards the upside. If we look at the QQQ chart, key levels that we have is going to be your previous day lows, 569.15, and then we also have this level that we like to see reclaim, which is your 571. So if we maintain above your previous day lows, right, this is something we could be looking for, right? Break back underneath your previous day lows, reclaim of this level for a push towards the upside. If we do want to see the best scenario is going to be the reclaim back above your 571 for upside. So we can keep an eye out on Qs. We are trading in between Friday's range, so we do have to keep that in mind. If we're looking at SPY, this one's showing a little bit more weakness. So I'm interested in shorting this SPY for downside if the market wants to show weakness. So if the Qs and SPY show weakness coming into today, what I'm going to be looking for is going to be the SPY rejection off of your previous day low. So 642.50 is going to be key here for the SPY. As for the ES, the key level that I have marked out is going to be this 642.52. It's 6452 here on the ES. So if you can reject off this level coming to market open, we can be looking for the potential pop and fade for a push towards the downside. So similar thing to yesterday, we'll keep an eye out on the major indices for the first 15 to 30 minutes. If we reject off your previous day lows, then we could be looking for more downside. If we reclaim it, then we can expect a move just back in between yesterday's range that we have. As for my top watches coming into today, I'm still going to keep an eye out on Tesla. So Tesla, we've had a nice break towards the upside last Friday. Nice continued push right off the bat yesterday as well. You can see daily candles closing strong compared to the QQQ, compared to the SPY. Tesla has been showing strength. Key level that I have is going to be this 346. You can see we have multiple touches here. 346 is the level we're going to have to reclaim. Hold above for this continuation up and towards your previous day high. So as you can see right here, the break above your 346 hold for this push up and towards your 349. As for NVDA, I'm not as interested in this one just because it does have earnings on Wednesday. The IV is going to be elevated, but let's say, for example, we did have this nice push up and towards your previous day highs. Potentially, we can see this push up in towards your 184. So we'll keep an eye out on NVIDIA here as well, but not as interested just because we do have NVIDIA earnings on Wednesday. Another ticker I'm interested in towards the upside is going to be Apple, just because we have news here in the pre-market. Plus, now we're above your previous day highs. Similar kind of setup to Apple a couple weeks ago, but if AMD can get above now, it's 168.50s. I do like this for a long for continuation towards the upside. So keep an eye out on AMD coming to market open. It's now going to be the break above your 168.50 for this push towards the upside. So AMD, Tesla, NVIDIA. As for the rest of the tickers, a lot of these ones are just at the previous day low. So keep an eye out on those key levels, something like Meta. As for Apple, similar thing, very similar setup to Apple here, right? Keep an eye out on your previous day lows. As for Google, this one still looks strong just because if we're looking at this on the daily chart, let me kind of just zoom out here. Nice push towards your all-time highs. If you do want to see continuation now, it's going to be above your previous all-time highs. Hold for this continuation towards the upside. So that's what we have on Google coming into today, your previous all-time highs level, which is going to be this 208.21. And then really for the rest of the tickers, I don't see too much. Really, it's just going to primarily be AMD along with Tesla. You can also still keep an eye out on SoFi here as well, just because this does have room back up and towards your previous day highs and above. SoFi was my main watch yesterday. I was looking for an entry close to this 25-ish level, which was our previous previous high. Now for SoFi, as I mentioned, I already laid out the game plan. Hold above your 2590s, or now it's going to be the break above your previous day highs for continuation. And then we can also keep an eye out on a few other tickers. Hood, more consolidation on this one. Palantir, not really doing too much here as well. But key levels for Palantir, really just this 155 here on the higher time frame. So really main watches today, it's going to primarily be AMD just because it had news, Tesla just because of the daily time frame breakout, and then of course SoFi here as well, since this one still looked good for an all-time highs push towards the upside. Okay, yeah, I'll go over a couple more tickers probably for the next 5 minutes here. If you guys do have any questions, you guys can drop them in the chat, and then I will get ready for market open. All right. Let's see. Gold, yes. IBM, yes. Let's see. Any interest on playing AMD? Yes, I talked about this one. You'll see in a few minutes. I just appreciate TSM. Yeah, I'll go over a couple more semis here. TSM key level that we have marked out, this 232.50. Nice reclaim. So I talked about this level yesterday. Nice break above on Friday. Hold above this 232.50. Push towards the upside. Now the key levels that we have is going to be your previous day high. So previous day highs, 237. We can also have marked out this high, which is going to be your 234, either the break above, or now it's going to be the dip all the way back down and towards your 234. As for UNH, key levels I have marked out on UNH is this 310. I still like UNH, but this one consolidating just a little bit more now after this really big push towards upside with news. Key levels that we have marked out kind of just in between the first day that we had with news, which is your 310 along with this 398. What I personally like to see, break above your 310 for a continuation higher. So that's the level we have marked out yesterday. That is still the level that we have marked out here as well. All right, so LLY, this one had news here in the pre-market. You can see we're trying to fill this earnings gap back towards the upside. Key level we'd like to see is now the break above your, it's going to be the break above your high that we created from last week. So we can have two levels marked out. We can have your previous day highs. We can also have your highs from last week, which is your 718. You like to see one or two things here. The break above, hold above your 712 for continuation higher. And now it's going to be the break above your 720. Hold above your 720 for continuation towards upside. Let's see what else. BAC. Yeah, I see a lot of you guys talking about like Forex, prop firms. I'm curious, how many guys, can you type in the chat, how many guys trade futures? Type what instrument that you trade in the chat. Either it be stocks, options, futures, or Forex. As for BAC, you can see Bank of America, the key levels that we have marked out is now going to be this 49 key psych level. This one is actually at all-time highs. So that's your key level. Now you can just mark that out. Now you'd like to see, right, maintain above your all-time high. So you can see a nice push towards the upside. Now you like to see it hold above your previous all-time highs for continuation towards the upside. So for BAC, you can see nice push towards the upside. Now holding above this level, we personally like to see, right, one or two things, bounce off your 49, or now it's going to be the break above your previous day highs for continuation higher. Let's see. Enjoy your daily updates. Okay, stocks, options, futures. Let's see, CFDs. Okay, so we have a wide range here. Futures, options, stocks. Makes sense. Futures now starting options. Makes sense. Most of it's options, but yeah, there is a decent amount that trade futures as well. As for the futures, do you guys trade with futures? Do you guys trade primarily with prop firms, or do you guys trade personal capital? All right, let's see if there's a few more tickers here as well. Go over a few more tickers and then I'll call it a day. Let's see. Go over Nike since someone's asking. All right, so for Nike, you can see nice kind of finally basing. Nike started to finally curl here as well, showing some bullish price action in the past 20 to 40 sessions. As for Nike now, the key levels that we have marked out is just going to be this key high, which is right 79.97. So you can see touch there yesterday here on Nike. That's the level now we'd like to see reclaim if you want to see this push towards upside. So that's what we have for Nike, either the break above your 79, or now it's going to be the hold above this key level, which is going to be this 79.20 key psych. So that's what we have here for Nike coming into today. 79.20s along with this 79.97. Let's see, Apex, personal, couple Apex in here, prop. Okay, that was actually cool. That was interesting to see because, yeah, I know a decent amount of trade futures, forex. There's so many different instruments. That's the thing. So many different ways to trade. As for my game plan, quickly go over once more. As I mentioned, right, we'll keep an eye on your previous day lows here on the Qs. SPY, similar thing, previous day lows is going to be your key level. As for my main watches today, it's going to be AMD. AMD above your 168, potential mean reversion here is in play for continuation towards upside. Above your 168. As for Tesla, we'll also keep an eye on the reclaim back above your 346. NVDA will be open to playing this one, but it just depends on the IV. So we'll see how the IV is coming to market open. And then we also do have SoFi for continuation above your previous day high. So that is going to be it for me today. I'm going to get ready for market open. We don't have any red folder news, but the major news events coming up, we do have orange folder consumer confidence. We have consumer confidence that's going to be at 10 a.m. We'll see if that gets upgraded to a red folder news, so we'll be cautious about that. As for other news events, we do have NVDA earnings tomorrow, so that's going to be key. And then, yeah, that's about it. So we'll keep an eye on AMD and then SoFi and the rest of the names for continuation. If you guys did enjoy that, I appreciate if you guys drop me a like. If you guys haven't joined the free watch list, that one is in the description below as well. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. All right, take care, everyone. Peace.